Welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be doing this summery sunset inspired look. So if this look is something you might be interested in, keep watching. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and start off with priming my face. And I am going to use the Laura Mercier Foundation Primer in Radiance. And I do believe that she does not carry this exact one anymore. She's got like a new collection of primers, or I think they're like a year old, but she does still have primers that are for radiance and for brightening. So I'm going to start off with a small amount of that and apply it all over my face. I like how it gives me like that dewy look. It really just makes my skin look hydrated because I actually have super dry skin. So I'll take any products that make my skin look just a little bit more hydrated. So the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead in with my go-to foundation, and that's the Born This Way through Too Faced, which I probably will be switching that up soon because I've been using this brand for a while and I kind of want to try something new. But I am going to take my beauty sponge, which normally I use a brush, but I recently switched back to the sponge because I feel like with my dry skin it makes it look a lot more plump and I don't feel like my skin looks quite as dry. So I'm going to go ahead and apply that to my beauty sponge. So I recently put on my fake tan or spray tan or whatever, realizing just how much lighter this is than my skin. So I'm gonna go get my summer shade, which I hadn't dipped into yet, so I'll be right back. Okay, so I went ahead and I grabbed my summer shade in the Born This Way foundation, and this is Porcelain. My spring shade is, or winter is Swan. So I'm going to switch over to my Porcelain, which might be a little dark, but it's better than as light as that foundation was. So I'm going to go ahead and apply this all over my face. Okay, that shade looks so much better than the Swan. I mean, is a pretty good match, I think. So I guess I'm just gonna go ahead and switch over to my summer shade. So the next thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go ahead and start concealing underneath my eyes, my dark spots, around my nose, and just anywhere where I feel like I need a little bit more of a even skin tone. So I am going to go in with my Master Conceal through Maybelline, which is my go-to. And I use the shade 10 Fair, which again might be a little bit light for me, but I actually don't have a summer shade in concealer. So let's just hope it looks okay. It is so hot up here. I did not realize that this room got so hot because we actually just bought this house in October and I've only filmed in this room in the winter, and now that it's getting warmer I'm realizing just how hot it gets up here. And it's about that time of year where no one really turns on their air conditioner yet because it's not super hot outside, but man, I am like dying. It is so hot. So the next thing I'll be moving into is my contour. So I'm going to go with my contour stick first, which is my Wonder Stick through NYX, which I use in every photo. For the most part for complexion, I probably should switch up my products just a little bit more. But honestly, I have sensitive skin. So when I find stuff that I really like, I don't stray too far away from it. But I'm going to try to start switching up some of my products so that I can show you guys how other ones work and kind of review them for you. But for right now, we are going to stick with my normal NYX Wonder Stick. So just to prove how hot it is, I don't know if you can see this, but my stick is like melting. Like, this is a matte stick, and that's just how hot it is. So I'm going to take this and contour right under my cheekbones. I kind of go like almost on my cheekbones because I want that really nice lifted look. I used to pull it down right here, and it really just drags your face down. So I try to keep my contour up a little bit higher. Then I'm going to contour down the sides of my nose just a little bit because I already have a skinny nose. I don't want to make it look a whole bunch skinnier. So now I'm going to go in with just a little bit of a deeper contour because I do want this to be a little bit more defined. After I use my cream contour, I usually like to use a powder contour right after. And I usually go in with Princess Cut from the Park Avenue Princess palette through Tarte, which I know is very old, and I don't even know that they still sell it, but it's still one of my go-to favorites. So I just like to carve it out a little bit deeper and set it with this powder. So now I'm going to move in with my powder, and I'm just going to lightly set my face with the Anastasia Beverly Hills Loose Setting Powder in Translucent. And I honestly like to take a more dense brush with my loose powder because I like to kind of pack it in there. And because I'm dry, I don't like to set my whole face because I don't want to look even more dry. But I do like to mainly set where I crease. So under my eyes is a big area for that, as well as my forehead and my nose. I'm next taking my fluffy brush, and I'm going to go in with my butter bronzer, which is almost out. And I think after this, I'm probably going to try a new bronzer because why not? I always hit my ears with my bronzer and my neck. So for right now, I'm going to skip my blush and I'm going to start going into my eyes. I want to skip my blush because I feel like sometimes I go a little too warm or too cool with my blushes in terms of the colors I choose for my eyes. So I'm going to go ahead and move on to my eyes. Alright, so the first thing I'm going to do is go in with my spoolie, and I'm going to brush my eyebrow hairs where I want them to lay, which it's not very hard considering I don't have too much eyebrow. I mean, it's like normal. So the first thing I always use is my eyebrow pen, and this is through Ardell. I always start with this one. My pencil changes all the time, but when I start out with my brows, I always start with this because I can draw on the little individual hairs with it. So the next thing I'm going to go in with is my eyebrow pencil, and I am going in with Ulta Beauty Ultra Slim Brow Pencil in soft brown, I think. Yep. And I mainly just apply this to the ends of my brow near the tail. Okay, so one of my favorite products that I use is the 24-hour brow setter through Benefit. And I love this because it does a really good job of holding my eyebrow hairs just where I need them and giving it more of that filled out look. So I'm going to go ahead and start with the thicker side because it does have a thicker side and then a thinner side on top. So I'm going in with the longer, thicker bristles, and I'm going to brush this product through my brows. And it's hard to tell. Zoom in for you, maybe, so that you can see just how great this brow pencil is. I'm sorry, brow gel. See how you can see all the individual hairs? Just really helps so that my brows look a lot more realistic. And then it'll keep my color on all day. It'll keep my brows in that position all night. All the individual hairs will stay just the way I want them. So now comes my favorite part, and we're moving into eyeshadow. So per the usual, if you've watched my other videos, you know that I rarely ever stick with one eyeshadow palette because I am so indecisive and I just dip in every single different color that there is. So I have 3 different palettes that I'm using today. I will say that each one of these palettes, you could really, you really could use one palette for this look. I might actually only stick with 2 palettes. We'll see. And these 2 I did review. They came in the exact same BoxyCharm in my, I believe it was my February box. So if you haven't watched my unboxing of my BoxyCharm for February, please do that. I will try to remember and link that somewhere. But I did review both of these. I am going to use them both in this video. The first one I'm going to use is the Ace Beauty Nostalgia palette. I've been using this a lot for my summer looks. These are just so many colors that I can get so many different looks off of. So you might see a couple more videos where I am using this palette. The other one I'm using is the Queen palette through Eloise, which I absolutely love this cover. And this one comes with lots of beautiful shades as well. And they actually both kind of have similar shades. So if you got only one of these in your BoxyCharm for February, you could use just one of these for this look. I'm just being extra and using them both. So let's go ahead and get started. So I am going to go in with a light shade in my Ace Beauty palette, which is Beach, just to kind of do a base. And actually, before I even do that, I always go in with my Maybelline Fit Me powder in 110, and I like to take just like a packing brush and apply that to my eyelids because my eyelids get oily. This will just set them and it'll give me like a really nice smooth canvas to start with. Okay, so now I'm going to go in with Beach and I'm going to apply that to my crease and right above that. And I actually pull it pretty far up on my brow bone. Man, my mouth keeps getting dry because it's so hot. And I got this nice big new light in front of me. And for the most part it's cool, but I feel like it does kind of make my room a little bit warmer. I really love this shade. It's just so soft and so pretty. If you just wanted a soft shade while you ran like errands or something, this would be the perfect shade. So the next shade I'm moving in with is still from my Nostalgia palette, and it's called Water Slide. I haven't even used it yet. It's this bright yellow one here. I used to use, for my bright yellows, I used to use the Subculture palette through Anastasia Beverly Hills. And I still do have that palette, but it's gotten a little old, and I definitely don't use it as much as I used to. But I do love the yellow in this palette just as much. I feel like the one in the Anastasia Beverly Hills palette is more of like a mustard yellow. This one is a little bit more bright than that. So I am going to go in with a not as fluffy of a crease brush because I don't want to get this shade everywhere and I don't want a bunch of fallout. So I am still going to use a crease brush, but I'm going to do a little bit of a thinner one. And I'm going to take this right above my crease. I'm going to bring you guys in a little bit. I am going back in with my fluffy crease brush again, and I'm just going to blend this shade out a little bit. Just make sure it looks a little bit soft, not too crazy. So the next shade I'm going to go in with is a orange shade, and it's going to be in that Nostalgia palette, and it's called Popsicle. So I'm going to use that. I'm going to apply that just below where I put the yellow and slightly overlapping. I am bringing the orange and yellow underneath my lash line. And this palette I love because it doesn't have much fallout. Alright, so the next shade that I'm going in with is still from that Nostalgia palette. Watch, I'm only going to end up using this. I'm probably not even actually going to go into the Queen palette except for maybe one shade. But I'm going to go in with this bright pink color called Picnic. Again, staying somewhat high. And again, pulling that shade into my lash line. So now I'm still sticking with a crease brush, but going even more into a smaller crease brush. I am going to start going into my deeper purples, and I am going to be going in with Raspberry. And I'm moving this right into my crease. Again, going in with my fluffier brush, and I just want to blend it out a little bit. I'm pulling that deep purple in pretty far into my lid. Alright, so now I'm moving into the Eloise palette, The Queen, and I'm going to go in with this deep purple called Majesty. If I can get it to focus, come on. There we go. So I'm going to put that right into the crease with this thin crease brush. This is just going to deepen it up a little bit more. So I need to grab another palette because I need something that was even a little bit darker for that crease area. So I'm going in with the Marvelous Mauves palette by Dose of Colors. And I'm going to use color Wine Stain just for that deeper crease. Alright, so I have my deeper shade in, so now I am going to go in with a concealer and I'm going to carve out my eyelids. We're going to do a little bit of a cut crease today. Alright, so I'm going to take my concealer and start my cut crease. So keeping my eyes shut, I'm going to go in and set it. Alright, so I'm going to go in with my other one. Okay, so I've carved out my cut crease. Now I am going to go back in with the yellow in my Nostalgia palette. There we go. And this one is called Water Slide. And I'm going to go in with a smaller packing brush. And the bristles are blue. Trust me, I don't have like blue eyeshadow on here. And I'm going to pack this on top of where I just cut my crease. So then on top of the yellow, I'm going to add a shimmery shade, and this is through Eloise, the Queen palette, and this is the shimmery yellow in, I want to say Ronnie, but I could easily be pronouncing that wrong. I'm the worst when it comes to pronouncing stuff. And I'm going to pop this right on top. Alright, so I've added that shimmery yellow. I am going to go back in with my dark purple and kind of blend it into that. Zoom you guys back out now that we're done with my eyes, well, my eyeshadow. So we are going to go ahead and move in with our mascara. And today, if I can find it all in this mess, I am going to be using the Urban Decay Perversion Bigger, Blacker, and Badder mascara. I'm going to pop that right on my eyelashes. So I know I didn't say this earlier, but I hope that everyone ended up having a good Easter if you do celebrate Easter. And if you don't, hopefully you had a good Sunday and or a day off. But my Sunday was full of lots of fun and family, and it was my baby's first Easter, so we had a blast. Okay, so the blush I'm going to use today is Ice Lotus through Clinique, and I love this shade. It's very nice and shimmery and pink. I feel like it'll give me a bright look, so I'm going in with my blush brush that needs to be cleaned, and I'm going to pop this onto the tops of my cheekbones. So I don't know where everyone is from, but I'm from the East Coast and we're expecting cicadas here soon, and I am not looking forward to it. After a year of quarantining, and now I'm basically going to be stuck inside again for another month and a half because I hate bugs. And I remember getting off the bus in elementary school the first time they came and just crying and like waiting for my sister to come out and pick me up from the bus because I was so scared. So I'm not looking forward to it. But anyway, off subject, I'm going to go in with my highlighter next, and I'm going to be using the Makeup Revolution London Loose Highlighter in Anyway, sorry, my cat came in. This is in Rose Quartz, and I love this shade because it's kind of golden and kind of pink, and it just has the prettiest summer shimmer to it. Let's see if you can see it. It is so pretty. I'm going to take my little highlight fluffy brush, and I'm going to apply that to my cheekbones and up near my temples. You know, I'm just not thinking about this, but those eyeshadow palettes are awesome because I got like no fallout from any of those bright colors, none whatsoever. And that again was the Ace Beauty Nostalgia palette and the Queen Eloise palette, and they're amazing. Then I'm going to hit the tip of my nose and just slightly down the bridge of my nose. I don't want to look too much like the Tin Man. And then my Cupid's bow as well. It's actually a lot more cool tone than I expected it to be. Oh well. So last but not least, I'm going to do my lips, which I'm go ahead and tell you, I have no idea what I'm doing yet. So we're just gonna kind of feel around and see what we like. I'm thinking I'm gonna go with purple shade. So I think I'm going to use, yeah, purple lipstick. Let's just go all out. I actually decided I'm gonna go with like a pink. So I'm gonna go ahead and line my lips with the Clinique Quick Liner for Lips Intense. And this is in the shade Intense Cosmo 08. And I do overline my lips just a little bit. Alright, and I'm going to go with my lipstick. I don't know what this is called. This is the Lancome Matte Shaker in Beige Vintage. But it says gorgeous color here. I actually used this shade for when I got married. But I'm actually going to use a lip brush because it's like a little sponge and I like it, but it's hard to get a precise look. So I'm just going to dip my brush into my sponge and apply it that way. Alright, and that completes this look. So I do feel like this pink lip could be a little bit much for some people, especially with such a bold eye. So if you like, you could go with a nude shade. However, sometimes I'm just in the mood to go big or go home. So I am definitely digging the pink lip with the bold eye today. Unfortunately, I did not get to put this on early. I have a room that is on the west side of our house, so if I don't shoot in the morning, I have to shoot late at night because the sun comes in the window and the light is too harsh. So unfortunately, I didn't have time to shoot during the day. So I am literally going to wear this for maybe a couple hours until I go to bed, and I'm going to take it off. I don't even get to go outside with this look. But it's definitely something I'm going to want to redo, and I'm definitely going to want to wear this out because I think this is one of my favorite looks that I've done in a long time. So hopefully you ended up liking this look as much as I did. If you did, please, please, please don't forget to subscribe to my channel. Give it a thumbs up. Comment below any other ideas of videos that I should do, or if you think you would go more bold with your lip or stay a little bit more natural with a soft nude. And then also hit that notification bell so that you know when all my videos come up. So again, I do hope you guys had a good holiday weekend, whether you celebrate Easter or not. Also, please don't forget to stay safe, stay healthy. I will see you next time. Thanks. A foundation. Ow, every single time. Oh my god. It is so hot. And I'm going to go in with, oh gosh, my back hurts.